So, Hare Krishna, and welcome to all the YouTube viewers.
Yeah, they're there checking us out.
Yeah, I actually had a friend message me yesterday that says that she watches the class on YouTube Live, and she said that she really moved by the class yesterday. So, yeah, people are there. They're watching. They're getting that darshan.
And Chimpakalada gave a wonderful class. Okay, 26, chapter 26 is How Wonderful is Krishna. Yeah, that's Adi's favorite chapter. Okay, and verses are... See, I have this Kali Yuga memory. Okay, 2 through 6. Copy. Okay. Share. Share. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 26, Wonderful Krishna, Verse 2. Balakasya yetani karman yati adbhutani vai katan arhat aso janma grameshvatma jugupsitam. Translation and purport by the humble disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The cowherd man said, "Since this boy performs such extraordinary activities, how could he warrant a birth among worldly men like us, a birth that for him would seem contemptible?" Purport: an ordinary living being cannot avoid unpleasant circumstances, but the Supreme Controller can always make perfect arrangements for his pleasure. Wonderful, concise purport. Verse number 3, translation. How could this 7-year-old boy playfully hold up the great hill, Govardhan, with one hand, just as a mighty elephant holds up a lotus flower? So we've talked about mushrooms, now it's a lotus flower. It's not a mountain, it's a flower. 10:26:4, verse number 4, translation. As a mere infant who had hardly yet opened his eyes, he drank the breast milk of the powerful demoness Putana, and then sucked out her very life air as well, just as the force of time sucks out the youth of one's body. Purport: the word Vayaha in this verse indicates youth or lifespan in general. With irresistible power, time takes away our life, and that time is actually Lord Krishna himself. Thus, in the case of the powerful witch Putana, Lord Krishna accelerated the time process, and within an instant withdrew the duration of her life. Here, the cowherd man mean to say, how could a mere infant who could barely open his eyes so easily kill a very powerful demoness? Verse number 5, translation. Once, when only 3 months old, little Krishna was crying and kicking up his feet as he lay beneath a huge cart. Then the cart fell and turned upside down simply because it was struck by the tip of his toe. Text number 6, translation. At the age of 1, while sitting peacefully, he was taken up into the sky by the demon Trinavarta. But baby Krishna grabbed the demon's neck, causing him great pain, and thus killed him. Purport: the cowherd men who loved Krishna as an ordinary child were astonished by all these activities. A newborn infant cannot ordinarily kill a powerful witch, and one would hardly think that a 1-year-old baby could kill a demon who has kidnapped him and carried him up into the sky. But Krishna did all of these wonderful things, and the cowherd men were enhancing their love for him by remembering and discussing his activities. This is the end. How do I end sharing?
There should be like a red button.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, this was the verse and the purport. Adipusha Prabhu, is Gura Sharan there? No? Okay. So what should we do?
Then now you can do prayers.
Yeah, let's do prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatinirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master is opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him again and again and again. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pistaya Putale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatadine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, we are in the spiritual dimension. Thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to have a discussion. Maybe our speaker will show up, maybe not. It's up to Krishna. So in this verses, what immediately comes to mind is that the simplicity of love that Krishna's intimate devotees, Vrijabasis, have for him. There's no apparent scholarship or sophisticated emotions being described here. It's just astonishment. How could this baby, how could this child do such a thing, such a great thing? How could he hold a mountain like a mushroom, like a flower? How could he suck out this witch's life force by sucking her breast? How could he kill this wind world demon, Trinavarta, who had picked him up in the sky, and Krishna crashed him and they fell on the ground? So astonishment. And Rukmini Walker, Andrea's Shiksha Guru, often says that we shouldn't lose this sense of wonder in Krishna consciousness. What's the opposite of having this sense of wonder towards Krishna's workings in our life? What's the opposite of that? I'd say cynicism. Right?
Or like entitlement too, maybe?
Entitlement, yeah, entitlement, cynicism. I think we deserve it. We deserve more. Or I've know it. I have a rational explanation for that. There's nothing behind it. It's just coincidence. That's all. Those thoughts erode our faith in Krishna, erode our sense of wonder. And the chapter is called "How Wonderful is Krishna." So that should be, we can take it as a lesson, that is an instruction from Shukadev Goswami, from the Guru Parampara, that's the attitude that a devotee should cultivate. Something happens in life, how wonderful is Krishna that this happened to my life. Let me discover that wonder and see what's there for me behind it, what kind of lesson I can drive from it. Or at least we can take calamities as our karma being burnt. And I was, I think I've already told this story. Let me know, just stop me immediately if I have. I was at the retreat, and my spiritual master was answering his correspondence with his secretary, Banu Nandini. And we were in the cabin, the three of us, and Maharaj asked me to stay there. So I was sitting there serving as a placeholder, and Maharaj said, so what's, and she was reading the correspondence, and everything was in German, and one letter was in English, so I couldn't understand. And in the letter, a devotee was telling Maharaj how they had broken their hip by falling off of a bike or something. And they were sharing that in the letter to Maharaj, and Maharaj was dictating his response, and he said, we're very sorry to hear that this happened to you. Please go see the doctor, do what they say, treat your condition, do the needful, and from our end, we will pray for you. And you should know that these days, a lot of stored up karma, he said, stored up karma is being distributed. And your path is now clear, he said like that. A lot of karma is being distributed, but now that this has happened to you, your path is clear. And he said, as for us, we're going to pray for you. It's a little late now, but we will pray for you tomorrow. So expect miracles starting noon tomorrow. So this is already that something happens. Okay, at least our path is cleared. We've burned our karma, and we can move on. Move on with our service. Move on with our devotional commitments. Okay, so that was my point.
Ananda Bihari, maybe Krishna arranged for Gosharana to give class, because you said that you wanted to share a lot of your realizations from the retreat with us. And it would be really great to hear about that. So maybe that was the arrangement.
Yeah. My path is now clear. Gosharana Prabhu is not standing in the way. Krishnadaya Prabhu, would you like to add something while I'm pulling up my notes? Something intelligent and uplifting?
I'm not that much intelligent, but I can just refer to the verses. I'm just going through the verses. And then this 10.6.2, I mean, like 2-3 points from the text, what we read. So 10.6.2, so this particular word comes like Balakasya yadetani karmani adbhutani vai. So basically here the chapter title is being referred to. So the context is like when Govardhan has happened, the pastime happened, because all of a sudden why these particular pastimes are coming. So that's a big question, like because Krishna is already a little bit grown up. So why it started from year one? So basically everybody is recollecting all the pastimes, how this is possible. Is he a very exalted personality? So Nanda Maharaj starts recollecting. So here the first word comes is Adbhuta Karmana. So like Lord is, and Lord's activities are wonderful. So that is the chapter title also. So in the second verse, that particular things are coming. Ati Adbhutani, or most amazing, or simply wonderful. So that is the one point. So they are recollecting many times, but again, the Yogamaya overpowers. So Krishna does it voluntarily. And another couple of things from the verses I would like to share. In the fourth verse, 10.26.4. So this particular thing is shared about the pastime when the life air is sucked out of Putana. So it's a very nice analogy. Bhagavatam gives a lot of analogies, so that helps us in our daily life. We can just see that analogy and connect that to the pastime. So one is like just like the youth is sucked out of our body, so we become old. We don't know when our youthfulness is going on. We can't control. Like Chanakya Pandit or some Aristotle, they say that, so you just hold a heap of sand right in your hand, and then you don't know, how the things are going out of. Ultimately, after some time, nothing is in your hand. Similarly, our youthfulness is also going like that. So we take pride in our beauty, our bodily strength, and then everything. So Shankaracharya says also this, that, don't take pride in this body. So, that is one thing. And then that particular pastime, especially of Putana, is very important. Bhagavatam, there's a verse recently we were discussing. It's 3:2-2-3. So the verse is Aho Bakiyam Sthanakala Kutam. So that shows that how Krishna is so merciful. All these pastimes, we can see that mercy aspect of Krishna. So Putana actually is in the earlier life. Sorry, can I share this, or is that okay? Anand Bihari Prabhu?
Of course, of course.
So Putana in her earlier life, she is Bali Maharaja's sister. So Krishna came as Vamana in order to subdue the Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is a king of demons, and then he took away the demigods' kingdom also. So, and Lord Vamana comes to get back that kingdom. So Bali Maharaj is conducting a very nice yajna, and Vamana comes as a small dwarf boy, a Brahmana boy. So everybody is attracted to see that beauty of the small boy, coming as a Brahmana with nice shikha, and then, so Bali Maharaj's sister, she feels that, oh, such a nice boy, such a cute boy. I wish I could feed him like a mother. So she feels so nice. And Lord, this is the very important thing. Lord just sees our positive things. Okay, you want to serve me? Noted. I will definitely address your request. Address your desire. And then after that, Vamana, he tricks Bali Maharaj, and then he snatches away all the kingdom, and he pushes him to the lower heavenly planets, Bilaswarga. Then she feels Ratnavali, hey, what is happening? This Vamana boy, he's actually, cheating my brother, and then, torturing him so much. I will kill this boy. I want to kill this boy. So Lord also accepts that particular request, and he says, okay, I will address both of them. And then in the next life, she comes as Putana. She will feed Krishna also. At the same time, she will attempt to kill Krishna also. So this is quoted in 3:2-2-3. You see how merciful Lord is. Even one small desire to serve, so Lord considers that, and then he allows Putana to do both. And after that, not only that, he kills Putana, and then he gives a position of mother in spiritual world, so that eternally she can do that service of being a mother. So, we see in Indra pastime also, Lord again and again forgives people, just because you had some sincere desire to serve, again and again, even in holy name retreat also, again and again, Lord is waiting for us. Okay, once you say Hare Krishna, I will be there, how many ever times you may do inattentive chanting, but I will try to be there. So that's the mercy of the Lord. Yeah.
Thank you, Krishna Prabhu. Every time we pick up our beads or tune into class or take up some devotional service, Krishna comes running towards us. And Krishna takes big steps. We may be stumbling here and there, running through the walls, but Krishna can do great things. Okay, would anyone else like to share their thoughts?
Jeffrey wrote something in the chat.
Jeffrey's always very shastrik.
Hey, thank you. No, I am not qualified. But in the purport to the one verse, it talks about the cowherd men enhancing their love for Krishna by telling these stories. And here we are every morning telling these stories, enhancing our love for Krishna and each other. And then as I was typing that, Krishna Daya Prabhu, thank you, Prabhu, starts speaking this wonderful Leela that is about the backstory of Putna. And I was just like, this is exactly what we're here for. And thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. We're all here discussing how wonderful is Krishna. Venetia?
Yes, just a reflection. I was struck by the question that the cowherdman asked why would Krishna, if he is God, take on our life? Like, why would he kind of stoop to our level and take on all these inconveniences when he could easily arrange for his pleasure? And that's, I'm a complete neophyte, and this is my first time through the 10th chapter. And that question really summarizes, it struck me, it summarizes something I've been thinking all along in this 10th chapter. Why is he doing this? Why is he taking this life form? And I guess I throw that question out to everybody. It just seems like a very pertinent question of this whole chapter.
Nice. Okay, let's answer. Let's try to meditate on the question. Any thoughts? Oh, I see. Bhima Prabhu, is that relevant or irrelevant?
It's totally relevant. We often ask ourselves, can you hear me, by the way? Okay.
Yes.
All right. We often ask ourselves every day, why would Krishna even involve himself in my day-to-day minutia, my trivialities? Why do I, pray to Krishna on every trouble and turn in my life? And we always have to remember that Krishna is in our heart. He's well aware, like a father to a child, that feels the pain of the child, knows the loneliness of the child, knows the yearning or the need of the child. The father is there. The father doesn't have to become like the child, but the father will stoop to conquer. There was a movie, I'm sure Venetia might have heard of it, She Stoops to Conquer. And I was always fascinated by that concept of stooping to conquer. And that is, we have to get down to the level of the person we wish to positively affect. We have to come to them to become intimate. So Krishna stoops to conquer us. He conquers our heart. If you notice, he's always in a not only a
Okay, we lost Bhima Prabhu. He'll be back.
But Sharmila actually put an answer in the chat as well.
Sharmila, would you like to read your answer? Sharmila?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Basically, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says that Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To protect the righteous, to annihilate the wicked, and to re-establish the principles of dharma, I appear again and again. That's what Krishna says to his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Sharmila. And Krishna, as whatever he does, he achieves multiple purposes in one shot, always. So one is to protect the religious principles, the righteous, annihilate the wicked, like Putana and Trinavarta and the card demon. What was the card demon's name? This is my favorite demon. I like the picture. There's a card and the guy with mustache sticking out.
Shakatasura.
What's his name?
Shakatasura.
Shakatasura, yes, Shakatasura, the card demon. Yeah, and there's also one other reason that Krishna comes to this world. He also does something else. What is it, Krishna? Do you know?
He performs pastimes so that attract the hearts of conditioned souls and also give happiness to his devotees.
Yes. He comes here to exchange love with his devotees, to please the devotees. So it's not that he's forcing himself to go down as a duty. Oh my God, I have to go down to that hellhole and involve in Venetia's life. And it's not like that. Krishna runs towards us because see, Venetia is a devotee. Let me go relish my love in exchanges with this sweet soul, Venetia and Whiskey Dust. And Krishna is excited, as much as we're excited to perform bhakti and to see Krishna behind every situation. It's very exciting to live like that. And then Krishna is no less excited than us when he's involved, when we invite him back in our life. And one other purpose for Krishna to come is to create subject matters for us to discuss. So he kills all those demons. He sucks breasts so that we have something to discuss. He does very curious things, very unusual things he does to attract the minds of miscreants, right? Krishna Prabhu, like you and I. Krishna is certainly does things that catch our attention very nicely. So, Adipusha Prabhu, I see your big smile. Would you like to share? You have to unmute yourself. Let me see if I can ask you to unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, there you are.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget that Krishna consciousness has an application immediate in our personal situation, that it's not just something in a book, but especially when we have a service, prescribed duty, a project, and we're endeavoring, and then Krishna very cleverly provides drama, seeming impossible situations where we don't know what to do, and he continually provokes us like that to turn to him. And we repeat that prayer all the time, just like the demigods on the shore of the Milk Ocean. Krishna, we don't know what to do. Very funny. We know it's you. We know you did this. We don't know what to do. And we'll do whatever you like. And then we don't worry. And then Krishna does miraculous things to open doors where it seemed like there was no way to get out of a situation, or gives us some kind of constructive perspective. So sometimes, but here what the cowherd men did was, in the traumatic situation, they remembered all the amazing things that Krishna did already. I know a girl that has a box, like a shoe box, with a little slot in the top. And every time she has a problem, an obstacle, some perplexity, some challenge, she writes on a piece of paper what the situation is. She puts it in the box. And then like once a month or every once in a while, she takes all those pieces of paper out of the box and she goes, and Krishna solved this, and Krishna solved that, and Krishna solved this, and Krishna solved that. When I turned it over to him.
Who's that girl? Is that Bhakti Devi?
No, she's not even in America. She's somebody I knew a long time ago in New Zealand. But it's an interesting practice. And so what they're doing is they're remembering Krishna did this when Trinavarta came, and Krishna did the cart demon, and Krishna did they took care of Putana. These are like not small things, impossible for us to deal with. And then we remember how attentive Krishna is to our situation. If we're just thinking about eating and sleeping and making a comfortable situation for ourselves, it's not as dramatic, although Krishna is there also to care for us. And ultimately, material life is a dead end. You look at anybody's story, the end of the story, the hero dies. It's like everybody's life is a tragedy in that sense. But we were just hearing about Jai Patak Maharaj. He's giving a class down in Texas, and his body's had a stroke, and he's had a liver transplant and kidney transplant, and he's got skin cancer, but he's on the Vyasasana, and he's preaching. And Satyananda Maharaj said to him, Jai Patak Maharaj, how are you doing? And he said, I'm so happy in Krishna consciousness. I'm so happy I have some service to do. And what kind of an excuse can I possibly have, for not taking up the difficulty? Because sometimes when there's difficulty, you think, well, I'll just give up, forget it. I'm not doing this. But These are opportunities
Yeah,
to turn to
Krishna doesn't want it. Krishna doesn't
Huh?
want it. So I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, maybe Krishna doesn't want it, but we can't unring the bell that the spiritual master asked us to preach, to double our service every year, to take less for ourselves every year and to give more to Krishna, and to be satisfied in devotional service. How wonderful is Krishna. So we try to remember his glories and because it's so easy to forget. Oh yeah, we had this problem and Krishna called it. We had that problem and Krishna solved it. And then when we hear about all these things that Krishna did, then we can confidently go on in the face of adversity with confidence, peacefully, even within a storm. Well, glories to Srila Prabhupada, who showed us how he persevered in all kinds of adversities. How wonderful is Krishna.
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu.
Glory to Prabhupada.
Yeah, I really like the point you highlighted, how we should always keep in mind all the wonderful things that Krishna has already done in our life. So if he has taken care of that for us, I mean, he made us overcome this, then there's no doubt that I'm going to go through this situation and come out stronger from the other end. But it may play out this way or that way. That is not the essence. The essence is whether I'm surrendering to Krishna, whether I'm remembering Krishna in this situation, whether I'm trying to see Krishna in this situation. That's what matters.
Mm.
And materially, Champakalata said yesterday, it may play out in a very unexpected way. It may not make sense right away. It won't make sense. And it doesn't make sense at all, materially speaking. But we want to get out of that material paradigm where 1 + 1 = 2, and because there is karma, reaction. We want to get out of that paradigm. And without challenges that Krishna put forward before us, without that, there's no room for surrender. There's no room for sacrifice. There's no room for yajna. There's no room for giving. There's no room for overcoming, becoming better. There's no room for addressing and facing our dark side. Without that, there's no room for wonder, Andrea, right? It's not wonderful if there's nothing that is challenging us and making us leave our comfort zone and get into, what are the 3 zones that Vaisheshika Prabhu talked about? There's comfort zone, then there's what's that?
Stretch.
Oh gosh.
Stretch zone.
Stretch zone. And then the third one is like the super stretcher, panic, impossible. So we want to be in the stretch zone. We want to be in the stretch zone always. And Krishna is not going to break us. He's going to stretch us a little bit. And Jayapataka Maharaj is an example of that. Krishna is stretching in big time. And look at Maharaja. His preaching is going on. So we should learn from that. Chanting should never stop. Srila Prabhupada said once to his first temple president. Do you know who Srila Prabhupada's first temple president was? It was Brahmananda Prabhu, big devotee, strong devotee. So one time on 26th Avenue, some local kids threw a brick into the storefront and they broke the glass while the program was going on. And Jayapataka Maharaj, he was the temple president. He was in the back by the radiator. So he jumps up and starts chasing those boys. And when he comes back, heavily breathing, Srila Prabhupada says, Ramananda Prabhu, what did you do? He said, see, and you chose to chase those boys. The kids are kids, what can you do? But you chose to stop your chanting, stop your hearing, stop your service, and chase those boys. And then Srila Prabhupada concluded, see, as soon as chanting stops, Maya comes. That's from Brahmananda Prabhu. From
That's
number
a great segue to your notes about the retreat, which is about chanting.
Yeah, chanting. Yeah. Just one more.
I just,
Back to Devi. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I just want to say, imagine just how hard it would be to love God if God did not come down here and associate with us. It's hard enough. And I also want to say that, these challenges that we get sometimes, it's like in reference to your friend who broke his hip, or the person who wrote that letter, you learn things that you realize things that theoretically when you go through difficult times. And those realizations really make it worthwhile.
Exactly. Yeah. Sachinanda Maharaj once said that we have so much data on Krishna consciousness. We know a lot. We know everything we need to know to enter the spiritual world. We have all the data. We know everything we need to know. We just lack, like Bhakti Devi said, application, realization. That's what this life is for. Because information-wise, we know everything. If we're around for 2, 3, 4 years, that's it. You know pretty much everything. So let's apply that. Bhakti Devi said, Krishna will guide us and carefully guide us through the application of the principles. And so I'm going to go to my notes very quickly. Just one point that I'd like to share today. Maharaj was talking about chanting, and he made this point that it's very difficult to chant inattentive rounds. It becomes like an austerity. Oh, I have to chant, and it's very difficult. Have you noticed this? How hard it is to chant inattentively, and how easy it is to chant attentively in the morning in a nice setting. You chant, it's like knife going into the butter. Very easy. But when you try to chant here and there on the train or on the bus stop or in the office, Bhakti Devi, have you chanted in the office?
I 2 days a week I have to chant on the subway.
Okay. Yeah, we're not judging here. We're not judging.
And thank you for purifying the subway space with your chanting then.
There you go. Yeah. One devotee, he was chanting so attentively on the subway that he got arrested. Somebody was thinking that he was setting up a terrorist attack on a plane or something. So somebody called the cops on him because he was rolling his eyes up and, going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And they called the cops. They stopped the train. It was a big scene. So Bhakti Devi, be careful. Okay, so Maharaj is talking about chanting, and he says there are 4 types of chanters, 5 types of chanters. So the first type is committed chanter, determined. Chanting is my priority. He prioritizes their chanting. That's a committed chanter. Then there is inattentive chanter, distracted. Let me just somehow finish my rounds. Let me get down with my rounds. So those 2, committed, puts chanting as their priority. Inattentive chanter, let me just somehow or other get through my rounds. Then there is lazy chanter, skips chanting on certain days. I've done 14 rounds already. It's late. Let me go to bed now. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. So that's the lazy chanter. And then there is an apathetic chanter. Apathetic chanter is riding a dead horse. Not feeling anything, no fixed number of rounds. I'm going to chant. I feel very, very connected today, so I'm going to chant 4 rounds. I don't feel connected today. I'm going to skip today. And riding a dead horse. Not feeling anything, no fixed number of rounds. And then there is an unaware chanter. It says here, clueless. He's just clueless, unaware chanter. Can chant here and there. So then I asked Chinmay Radha. So Chinmay Radha, where are you? Where do you find yourself? What category do you put yourself in? Maybe you are a committed chanter, or maybe you're a lazy chanter, or maybe you are this apathetic chanter. And she said, apathetic? I am a pathetic chanter. She said, I'm a pathetic chanter. So I thought that's my category too. I'm a pathetic chanter. But Maharaja was saying that we may be in all these categories at the same time. But ideally, we want to be in the committed chanter category, where we prioritize chanting. Okay, what's my number one thing that I do in my day? Chant good rounds, if possible. We want to stay practical. But that's what we strive for, aspire for. Bhima Prabhu, were you offended by the dead horse example?
Yes, I was. I'm coming down tomorrow. I'll show you what a dead horse looks like. I wanted to say that I guess we all have that experience that when calamities come, when stuff comes in our life, whether it be a lost job or health issues or just anxieties, we do chant better. At least I do. And so once we're reminded, and of course, when things are going great, I just step outside myself and I look at how lackadaisical or apathetic I get in my chanting because things are going great. Which is probably why we're constantly reminded in the Bhagavatam of all the things that we have to face. One wonders if perhaps Queen Kunti's prayers should be a daily thing that we ask, that we actually be courageous enough to say, Krishna, give us something that brings me to the point where I actually realize how desperate I am, how much I need you at every moment. If we are, that's why Prabhupada and people, the acharyas of the movement always said you have to be challenged in your service. If your service is easy, then you should increase it or double it. Challenge yourself, because you're brought to this point whereby you come to understand how Krishna is involved in, as Adi was saying, how Krishna arranges this little magical show that if you go to him, he's going to facilitate your growth, our growth, our purification. So anyways, the point is of course, we shouldn't be afraid of challenges. We shouldn't be afraid of calamities, because otherwise, how will the gold be purified if it isn't thrown in the fire? So that's all I got to say. And I'll see you tomorrow, Ananda B. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, when we're not moving forward in our spiritual life, then we're slide back down. What's that example in the Shastra, Krishnadaya Prabhu? Is it like a rock thrown into the air, and then if it's not going up, it's going down? There's no way that we can. We want to be sustainable in our spiritual life. We want to be reasonably healthy and fed and sheltered and all that. But like Bhima Prabhu said, we should constantly challenge and increase our commitment. What's the example? Because when we stop, we go down. It's not that we can stop and comfortably just cruise through spiritual life. Is there an example like that in the Shastra?
I'm not sure about Shastra, but I was hearing Gauranga Prabhu about swimming upstream. Like if you don't swim against, then we'll just go back. It's not that we are going to stay at that place.
Yeah. You're not going to stay. Yeah, wonderful. Ranat Maharaj, he was once asked, how do I know if I'm donating enough? And Maharaj said, you should donate to the extent that it hurts a little bit. So that's the principle. We should take up commitments to the extent that it's a little bit challenging, just a little, not overly, not crazily challenging all the time, that because we won't be able to sustain that. But challenge until it hurts a little bit, like Maharaj said. So I hope it's pertinent. Of course, if Krishna wants us to dance radically, then we should be ready to do it. We should be ready to do it. Yeah. Okay. Would anyone else like to say? What's that?
Are we having darshan today?
Adi Purusha Prabhu?
Is he? I can't see him.
No, he's here. He's saying something into the muted mic. Okay, let me ask Adi to unmute himself.
Yeah, I'm here. It's 8 o'clock. The deities are a little late. We have to go move the vehicle.
Okay.
Krishna
So
could
much
talk.
drama in Adi's face that he's missing the darshan. Yeah, that's a devotee.
Krishna Katapa will give an analogy about how it's important to have the relationship with the spiritual master where you ask him what to do, and then he gives you a prescribed duty, like just like Krishna asked Arjuna to fight. This is what I'm asking you to do. And he said, the analogy he gave is like, when you want to sharpen a knife, you have to hold, oh, here goes the deities. We have to hold the knife against the grinding wheel. You know, you have to have something you're committed to. Either that the spiritual master gave you it as instruction, or he said, find something and commit to it. And then we persevere.
Yeah, and it's exciting to persevere. If we just satisfy our urges, the urge may go away and we may feel some relief, but there's no excitement. Excitement is where commitment is. And where Shishivada Mulidhar, Shigur Chandra are. That's where excitement is. So stand up, turn on your camera. Hare Krishna.
A little stand or what? I don't know. Who cleans the temple? I'm not sure who somebody picked it up and took it out. Must be somebody, or at least somebody who knows.
Adi, you just stand there.
Say that again.
Stand there, Adi, and there you go.
Hey, go up slow so you can see everybody smile.
Adi is going to move the car. Thank you very much, dear devotees.
Krishna giving us darshan of little beings. Is that a cow or a goat?
Rich.
Oh, I took a goat.
That's Rich's disciple. Yeah, there they are. Rich the shepherd. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you very much for sticking around for this class. Rich, nice seeing you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ananda Bihari Prabhu.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you.